If you were to die right now, what would your friends say about you? What would people say about you? Will they say good things about you, or will they struggle to find the words? So stay tuned and let's find out what it takes to be a good person. So what does it take to be a good person? So I've been teaching high school now for years, and I've taught thousands of students. And every time I run this lesson and every time we talk about it, of what is a good person, we always boil down to the simple points of altruism. And so when we think about altruistic behavior, what does that mean, right? So that means you are unselfish. You do good for the sake of doing good. You don't seek any reward in return. And different philosophers have different thoughts about altruism, but that's a general consensus about altruism. So let me ask you this. And when we think about altruism, we think about these large-scale and small-scale methods. So we think about large-scale methods, which is, I'm going to go build houses for the homeless. I'm going to donate all my money to charity. And then we think about small-scale altruism. So I see someone that's hungry, I'm going to go feed them and give them a meal. But why do people jump on social media and share their altruistic acts? Why do we have to talk about all the good that you've done? So I'm pretty sure you have friends that go on social media and they talk about all these good things that they've done. But why? What is the purpose? Are they just showing off to do the good things that they've done? And if the good that they've done inspires you to also do good, then perhaps that's just another way that you're going to be altruistic, is by sharing those thoughts and as well. So here in the studio, I was talking with a friend and she said to me, well, maybe altruism is the thought of doing good. It's not the act, but it's the initial thought of doing good in the first place. And that's actually kind of inspiring, right? And think about it. Well, it's like I don't get up in the morning and think, yeah, I'm gonna do good just because I woke up and now I want to do good, right? We kind of do good because we witness injustice, or we witness an imbalance of power, and because when we see that imbalance or that injustice, we want to act. And so that feeling, that action, that notion of action is in itself the good moral behavior, the good ethical behavior. So that might compel us to act altruistically and act kindly. If we see someone on the side of the road and they're starving and you clearly have the means, then maybe, right? Maybe you should feed them. So to do good would involve you to take action against something that is reprehensible. And therefore, the act of thinking about doing good by itself is the first step in doing good. So I ask you this: do you have to be altruistic to be a good person? And you know what? I argue no. I argue you don't have to. In fact, if you just drove your car on the proper side of the road and you went the speed limit and you stopped at all the stoplights and you stopped for pedestrians and you signaled when you had to, then that in itself, you're not harming anyone. So that in itself is doing good. Or I don't spit on the ground. I don't litter. I don't steal. I listen to people that need to be listened to. That in itself could be good behavior. You're not causing anyone harm. So if you're not causing anyone harm, then in itself is good behavior. And then that would be the mark of a good person, not just simply the act of being altruistic and saying, I have to go donate money. You could just be you, just be yourself and not hurt anybody. And by that alone, you could be a good person. How about being a good listener? So here's a social experiment that I want you to conduct in your friends. I want you to think about a compelling story that you can tell. And as you're telling your group of friends this story, I want you to count how many of them take out their phones and then start scrolling through social media or do something else. See, when they're doing that, they're telling you that they're disinterested. And if they're disinterested, then they're not a good listener. They don't care what you have to say. Like, you could be telling them a story about how your grandmother's sick, but if they're scrolling through social media or they're on their phones, then they're not really paying attention to you. That means they don't care about you. So then, is that a good person? Or how many times have you done it when your friends are talking to you? Right? So your friends are talking to you, they're trying to tell you about the time where they've broken up with somebody or they're having trouble. And then instinctively you just take out your phone and start scrolling through social media. Are you a good person? So think about that. How do you feel? Are they paying attention to you? What about this? What about if someone's telling you a story, and then as someone's telling you a story, you cut them off and then tell them your story? Well, do you care what they had to say? I argue not. I argue you didn't care 2 cents about what they had to say. You just decided that your story was better, so you cut them off. So keep that in mind when someone's talking to you. Let them finish what they have to say first. And if you want to be a good listener, then ask good questions. Ask them how they feel, and ask them how you can help. So why don't we bring this back to the question I originally posed at the top of this video? And I said, if you were to die right now, right at this instant, what would they say about you when you die? Think about that for a moment. Thank you for watching. So here's how we get these ideas for these shows. At the Camcast on Instagram is where people send us a lot of direct messages and they give us show ideas. And when you subscribe to this channel and you send us comments on our videos that we've read, you share your ideas too, and we want to do more shows like this. So subscribe to the channel, post comments, send us direct messages on Instagram, and we've got a bunch more shows lined up that we want to do, and these are all based on the ideas that you sent. We'll talk to you later. Bye.